Good evening and welcome to RPM. This is Premier Division. It's a Wednesday night and we're here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And I am with the beautiful, the stunning, the amazing Inorganic. How are you this evening?
Mr. Jones. Yes. Yeah. Not too bad after yesterday's fiasco, and I've had to shave my beard off as well. So that's a completely different story.
Okay, it wasn't a frustration shave after the EA quality of game.
Yeah. After my car decided that it would suddenly lose all control after going over a curb, and then my brakes stopped working, and then just drift into an exploding wall. I slightly tapped the wall and the car exploded in dramatic style.
Oh, a complete decimation. Well, it's impressive. I'd just at least take that. I mean, I've never got up to speed to have my car get demolished. The wheel just falls off very slowly, almost like pitifully. Embarrassed at how slow I'm going around. I think I also saw in chat, I think it was Brian saying good evening. So good evening to you, Brian. Nice to have you along with us. So as we were just talking before in this lovely commentary box here in Texas, you were saying that you obviously have seen a lot of pace from some of the new guys, Morris and who was the other one there? I've completely lost his name. Oh, Oliver.
Oliver, yeah. Yeah, they are lightning quick. We saw bits of it. We saw one of I can't remember which one it was. Absolutely dominate Silverstone last week. He round Monaco on slick in the pouring down rain and full pelt. I mean, I couldn't get that quick in a straight line, let alone around the corner on slicks in the wet.
Yeah, I mean, I turn up to Monaco and I've got to be honest, it looks like I'm following all the traffic rules. I cannot get on with that circuit. I think you do really see what these drivers are made of around a circuit like that. This will be much more back to normal though tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit of a first. We did it yesterday where it's a completely random track picked out of 3 tracks. Our race yesterday was Australia. Today it's COTA. I kind of wanted COTA yesterday. Yeah.
And I guess from your perspective, obviously I'm not driving anymore in the championships. That kind of makes it hard for preparation, doesn't it? Because you can practice all 3, but you're not solely focused on one.
Well, I'd have to ask Kieran that. Kieran's the only one that practices. I can practice, but if I have a good couple of first laps, that's me using up all my speed, and then everything else then just seems to get slower. Yeah, I think it makes it a bit more interesting. You know, you've got to make sure you got your car, you've got the setups for all 3 tracks. It doesn't give you as much time to play practice, but I'm sure most of these people have managed to do a bit on all 3.
Yeah, I imagine in Premier Division. Oh, that's a nice shot there. I can see a McLaren in the background. Very scenic shot I just had up there, following Aidan Jones. Yeah, I imagine in this division, as we've seen through a lot of the season, I was about to say how close it is, as Aidan puts himself exactly a second ahead of Stubby there, pretty much. How close it is, I guess they are doing a little bit of practice at least, because a tenth can count for a lot. As you can see from the guys behind Aidan, it's very tight. Skills Dan putting in a great lap there. This is my first time seeing him race, and you'll be very pleased with that. Alfa Romeo on provisional pole currently. Go on board Morris now, who is just starting a lap. so I'll follow him through as we can watch the whole lap on board here. Yeah, well, Alfa Romeo on pole, that's good for you so far. We've got it very tight in between the front two, as per usual, 7/10, and I'd imagine the Williams will be working their towing tricks on these next few laps to try and get closer. As Nats Packer also moving herself up into the podium positions with a 34.1. So Nat's finding some early pace here. I know she was, let's say, not too happy with her pace in some of the earlier races, but maybe she's starting to find a little bit of form now as Morris has backed out. And I think we're going to see the Mercedes tow in action here. He's picked up Oliver.
Yeah, there's going to be the teamwork going on in there, driving each other down. That's great. I also want to make a bit of a shout out as well. We haven't mentioned him yet. The return of a certain Mr. Backer.
Absolutely. Now, he was saying he was going to be a second off the pace. He's a second off pole pace, but he's right in the mix there, 34.5. Not a bad start. In the Alpha Tauri, he was trying to also persuade me to come out of retirement to join him in the other Alpha Tauri seat. I didn't know how to phrase it to him properly. I said, I'm not coming out of retirement, but two, I was pretty average in the lower division, so I'm not sure how I'd warrant a seat in the highest division all of a sudden. And as Oliver goes a whole second quicker, well, I was about to say a whole second quicker, well, 8/10 quicker than Dan's, but Bass, it makes me want to say goalkeeper Bass there with a 33.3. But that is unbelievable from Oliver, so clearly that slipstream who's given, counting for quite a lot. I'll just go on board briefly here. Backer on his in lap here, just as you mentioned him, back in the fold. And I'll go find Quinn, who is the only person apart from his brother yet to set a lap. And I do have some information on the Luke DNF in this session. Is apparently he's spun onto the straight. So not good news for Luke.
That's a typical Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that I think Luke is the most talented driver I've ever seen. He's a lovely personality, and this is not because he pays our wages. It's nothing to do with that. It might be. I
still haven't received that yet, and I'm his teammate.
Well, yeah, I was hoping to get my end of year bonus before the tax year, but obviously it's rolled over now, so maybe next year.
I think all the money's been spent on Alfa Romeo chassis and
Well, also, yeah, I think he's got rich by not giving his money away to idiots like me, so that's probably why he maintains the richest commentator in history. I've just seen, has Oliver posted time, or Morris just posted the time? Morris taking second place, so Mercedes 1 and 2 at the moment, and then as people are on their outlaps and in the pits, we have the Red Bull of Bass in third, Skills Dan in fourth, Aiden in fifth. That's very different to what he's used to from the beginning of the season. And then behind Aiden there's a bit of a gap, and then comes the rest of the field really, who I think will be hoping to find a bit more time. But I tell you what, even if it does split into 2 races here, you could have 2 groups of tight racing. Any incidents could matter massively, and any penalties, as we've seen on a few races, could change your position hugely.
Yeah, the goalkeeper Bass, I believe that's his first race, I believe, with us. So he's showing a bit of pace. I'm just on board with Morris, and I think he's waiting for a certain other Mercedes driver to come through, and he's going to have to wait a bit because he's just coming out the pits. But yeah, Williams, I don't know if they're kind of working together. Skills Dan's has done a great lap change, like this track. I think this is kind of a Marmite track. You guys love it, I hate it. I quite like this track, apart from the first corner.
I quite liked it in the F1 cars. I did it in the GC cars the other day in iRacing and thoroughly hated every single moment of it. Um, I think it's car dependent for me. Just seeing in chat, Brian saying, Jones, we want you out of retirement. I don't think that will ever happen. I'll be putting a lot more people into retirement, not with my skills, but more with the fact that I've destroyed their races. It's also either with a prediction. He knows I love my predictions. And Luke will have to be watching his wallet at that RPM. He says, Backer, DNF lap 14. It's nice to see you welcoming Backer back so nicely. He reckons also 3 safety cars, 2 DNFs, obviously here one of them's going to be Backer. 1 Ferrari in the top 3, both Mercs in the top 5. Haas fastest pit stop and only 1 female will finish the race. So if Nats doesn't finish the race, then you could be scuppered on that.
Yeah, that's kind of hedging your bets there.
I tell you what, he got close the other week though, didn't he? And the first few, I mean, I think he's covered himself with Haas fastest pit stop. I'm not sure. They're probably all around the same pace, so as long as they time it well on the entry, they should be okay. And if Nats finishes, those are the easy options, but other than that, I think he's gone quite out there again.
Yeah, I think I suppose it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna probably my phone. Sorry about that.
No problem. I was
no
just
disconnection, huh?
Ah, hello. It's the man who pays our wages. Were you feeling a bit tense and just wanted a bit more time for relaxation? Just took a tactical DNF there?
Well, I was when the track was decided. I was still throwing darts and getting coffee, so that shows you where my mind was. So yeah, and I have a presentation to finish in about an hour, so I don't really mind skipping qualifying, but it was not the intention.
Did you say you were playing darts?
Yeah.
How would you summarise your style? A Luke Littler or a Michael Van Gerwen?
I would say it's more of a... I call it around the board style. Just try for a lucky number, you know. No, but sometimes I play well, and then sometimes...
Well, I'm guessing, so from the sounds of it, you applied your darts strategy onto the racing strategy, so around the board, around the track, rather than on the track. You ended up in the wall.
Yeah, I went for a little spin, so... no, but I thought, well, I have some time. I was watching the stream, might as well join in for a few seconds.
Absolutely. And let our beautiful tones relax you before the race.
So Luke is fitted in really well at Alfa Romeo, finding out that the car does have a magnet for walls and spin gauge and exploding.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully the race will go a bit more in your favour. But with Quinn at the back, we could be seeing our favourite thing, the brothers fighting for position.
Yeah, but he's sweating, so I think he went upstairs like more than an hour before the session, so he probably practiced this. I used to do as well. But,
have you got another darts board upstairs? So could he also be training for the World Championships?
Well, Quinn?
Yes.
Nah.
Okay,
I played my worst leg against him, so and I still won. So.
Oh, I love the sibling rivalry.
Yeah, luckily that's one department I can beat him in, because in other games, I'm not that strong. Well, racing, I'm still beating him overall in all the championship we raced against each other. So.
That's the experience coming through, Luke, I reckon.
It could be, yeah.
Well, as we've got you here, any predictions for the race tonight? We've already had a wild prediction from Ivor, which we get each week. Have you got any predictions for how it's going to go?
What was Ivor's prediction?
Well, Bakker to DNF on lap 14, 3 safety cars, 2 DNFs, 1 Ferrari in the top 3, both Mercs top 5, Haas fastest pit stop, and 1 female driver to finish.
Wow, 2 DNFs with 3 safety cars. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But how many laps are there? 28 or something?
28, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think 50% is quite a long time for Bakker to continue. Because he kept asking me about pressures in the M, so he took mine. Now don't blame me if something goes wrong.
It's funny you should say that because he's also in the comments on the chat talking about tyre pressures.
Yeah. He was like urgent, DMing me. It was like normally I had Colin for this, so I have no idea what to do now. But yeah, my prediction is that there's a new guy in the goalkeeper. Is it goalkeeper Bass or is it just?
Yeah, that's what we went with.
Yeah, so maybe he's the surprise of the night. I haven't seen him yet, but yeah, probably it's the Mercs 1-2.
All I imagine for his racecraft is he's just unbelievable at defending. Like you just can't get it past him.
That's true. Unless it's like Cal the Dragon, then
yeah, it's just going in.
then it's done, yeah. No, but maybe Booty has always been the surprise podium, so I'll put pressure on him. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, Booty we've seen. I think it's just 2 races ago at Silverstone was unbelievable. So if you can have a good race with him, well, if he could have a good race. I'm sure we can see that again. And he does seem to come alive during the race. I'm actually on board with your brother at the moment. He looks like he's getting dialed in now. Going through sector 2 here now. So I feel like a lot of people are putting some shade on Bakker though tonight, saying he's not going to get far into the race. Everyone's predicting a DNF so far. I think Bakker's going to finish in the top 15 tonight. That's my prediction. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'd be disappointed if he didn't get in the top 15. It'd be unbelievable if he didn't.
Well, you don't know. Maybe he gets disqualified. No, then he's still in the top 15, so. But not finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the top 8 drivers, seeing the Mercs have helped each other out on final laps. There is less than a second between 3rd and 8th.
Oh, I've just seen that as well, yeah.
That's quite close.
Yeah, and I just saw Quinn pushed himself up to 12th, but he got very, very sideways on the exit. I'll go on board with Nats, who was 3rd not long ago. It's now right at the back. And Nats improves to 5th. Who've we got coming towards the end of that? We've got
4th.
Yeah. I saw Entity and Giraffe giving themselves nice tow. GK Bass, or Goalkeeper Bass, however you want to call him, has invalidated, so he will not improve. Aidan Jones is now going into the final sector. Can he do anything about pole position here? As I think someone else has just improved. I can't quite see. Oh, I think it's Smith up to 4th.
And then improved to P5.
So it's all kicking off. And Aidan does not manage to go much further, and I think Kieran has invalidated and takes a beautiful line through that last corner there. That's more like it, Kieran. I like that line. I think also in the S's, if you go straight on, I think you've got some time to find through there.
Definitely. Well, I will be leaving now. Maybe I will speak to you in 2 laps.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you on the podium, Luke. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Just crashed out.
I think just before you go, I think Inorganic's still expecting his paycheck for all the commentary. I'll leave that. I won't say anything more on it. You know, I'll let you guys speak about that in private.
Depends how my bet goes tonight with the Champions League.
Oh,
All right.
looks like we might have secured it for you there.
Oh, all right. See you.
All right, mate.
Yeah,
Good luck.
good luck, Luke.
Thanks.
Right, so just to run it down, 1.6 seconds separating the whole field. Merck 1-2. Aiden managed to get into third there. Smith with an absolute quality lap towards the end. He didn't look like he had the pace at the start of the session. He's found himself in fourth. And I just thought I'd run quickly over the driver's standings as you guys can't see it. Aiden is still leading the championship with an 18-point gap to Booty. And then we've got Booty, Stebo, Smith and Morris in the top 5. And Luke and Quinn separated by just 3 points in 6th and 7th. Just to go over it fairly quickly. Now, I don't know if I saw Stebo there. I don't think he's here tonight, so he's going to lose out. But Smith and Booty, who have been very consistent this season, you'd imagine more the same. And it'd be interesting, Aiden with that point gap, does he now think about the championship and not fight too hard for the win, or is it ingrained in him as a racer to really fight these Mercs for the win?
I think, as we saw in Silverstone and last week, where he had a big bust up with Ferrari and ended up walking out. Obviously, they've kiss and made up, and I think he's just got to drive sensible. He's had a couple of bad races. If he can get on the podium, he doesn't need to win. If he's up there battling, that's great. But he's just got to keep it clean after the last couple of races that he's had. I know he's been pretty disappointed. I think this track is a bit more forgiving. So yeah, he's just got to keep it clean, stay out of trouble, do a Smith drive. He needs the points now, I think, just to get his confidence back up.
Absolutely, especially as we start to move to the latter stages of the season. You start to have an eye on that championship. Seeing Kieran in the chat saying, hello Jones and Inorganic, might be some chaos at turn 1, he predicts. And this looks like a formation lap to me.
Looks like a formation lap.
So we've been caught out again. I was trying to say that so quickly, thinking it's going to just be lights out and away we go. But no.
No, we've got a formation lap. Again, I must have missed the memo. I'll have to open my emails at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just having a look at the tyres here. So the Mercedes split strategy. I'm surprised maybe that Oliver didn't take the softs to run away with it, because I'm assuming these guys are in discussion with all their strategies. I mean, I don't think you could pull off a toe like these guys are without having some kind of communication. Aiden is on the same strategy as Oliver there, as is Smith, and then Skills Dan, one to watch out for here, on the hard tyres, going long and deep into this race in 5th place. Entity and Nets following the majority so far, mediums. GK, Bass and Kieran looking to make up some positions on the softs. We got Stubby on the hards, and then from 11th to 15th all on the mediums. Keep an eye on 13th, 14th and 15th. It's the battle of the Dutch drivers for last position there at the moment. Two brothers and Bakker sandwiched in between them. And I'm expecting Booty to have some good race pace. I'm very surprised to see him down in 12th, but we know how tight it is in this division.
Yeah, turn 1 here is kind of hectic. You do have to get up a bit of speed uphill, but then it's obviously there's the sharp hairpin. I think being at the back isn't a bad thing going into that corner. You can see what's kind of happened ahead of you and you can kind of get round it. I think the middle of the pack where Kieran is, Nats, yeah, I wouldn't fancy being there. It's it's quite a wide entry, but it's, yeah, such a sharp turn that yeah, I'd be surprised if there's not a few flying wings and spins at turn 1.
Yeah, let's hope they keep it as clean as possible, but who knows, like you said, it's a very, very tricky corner, and especially through those S's that come straight after, you can have some instance as the Mercedes take their position on the grid. Just seeing Luke and Everyone stayed quite tightly together there. And Luke is now in position. So, hopefully it all should go smoothly.
Yeah, you certainly want to be on the outside, you don't want to be on the inside.
Okay, let's go. And it was a very good start from Oliver there. And actually, Morris on those soft tyres seemed to bog down a little bit. And Aidan having a look, and he's going to go round the outside. And he's got the move done because he'll have the inside line to the next corner. I'm just going to go back and see what's happening there. There seems to be someone around. GK Bass has gone off. And Luke is past him as well. So GK Bass on those soft tyres has a horror start. I couldn't quite see what exactly was happening behind that, and everyone is still moving in the right direction as Quinn looks like he's struggling with oversteer in his setup at the moment. Back towards the front with the Mercedes, the Ferrari sandwich, and they've already they've got a second gap to Skills down here, who has moved himself up to 4th on the hard tyres, but he's going to come under pressure from Smith here, and Smith breezing past him there, inside line, and that should be a done deal. Booty also looking to make a move. Already, we said about Booty in the race from 12th to 6th in 2/3 of a lap. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, I think Backer just had a bit of a moment, but yeah, that's typical Booty start, isn't it? He just stays out of trouble, and he just seems to get fantastic starts, and yeah, he'll try and do again. He's like Smith, keeps everything clean, keeps out of trouble. Yeah, and he's a master at the starts.
Yep, so just looking at the position changes, Booty up 6 places, Kieran also having a good start, as well as Giraffe and Quinn. We saw GK Bass and Nats. I think it must have been both of them that got caught up with each other, both losing 5 positions. We saw Smith and Dan swap a position, but Morris is still in the hunt on Aidan here, and they are going into the second sector now, as Morris has a bit of oversteer there. So he falls back, but DRS won't be available this lap. It will be available next lap. So for Smith, his job is to try and catch these top 3, as we've got stuff happening behind. I think we've got...
Yeah,
Is that entered? Oh no, it's Giraffe and Quinn fighting for position there for 9th.
Yeah, just watching the Bass is making his way through the field now, definitely making full use of them, the softs, and slowly making his way through the track.
Yeah, and here comes back on Stubby, going to the inside. And Stubby's struggling a little bit at the moment on those hard tyres. Don't know if he got caught up in the incidents behind. His front wing looked in check as far as we can see, but you never quite know. And we'll go back to the front here, just having a look as Oliver sets another fastest lap, but Aidan's still just in DRS range, but Morris only 3 tenths back. But he'll be desperate to start using this soft rubber now, because otherwise, the longer this goes on, it starts to fall into Aidan and Oliver's hands on the medium and possibly more optimal strategy.
Yeah, I mean, skills Dan's there, and he's on 5th. He's kind of keeping up with the pace, and he's on the hards. I think he's kind of showing off the mile drivers up there. I think showing that the car has got pace and it doesn't always spin.
Yeah, well, like you said, he's still right in the hunt with Smith there, and that could definitely come into play, that hard strategy. He's sacrificed the start of this race here, but we don't really know where his pace is in terms of the race with these leaders. I mean, that might become more obvious after the pit stops.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's going long, going like a hard, softs. I'll be interested to see how long the softs last, and whether he's going to go maybe hard medium or maybe hard soft.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've seen quite a few guys coming sideways, getting on maybe a bit trigger happy with the throttle. Just seen it from Morris. I've seen it a few times from Quinn across qualifying and the race so far, and looks like struggling for grip out of some corners so far. So Aiden maintains second place at the moment. I'll go and have a look what's happening in the midfield, and as you can see, it's a huge train in behind Booty coming down that straight, and Luke and Stubby and Becker aren't too far behind it either at the moment, so the pace throughout the field is pretty strong. It's just whether you can get the move done and if you can stay in the train, really, because I think if you're out of the train, it's then very hard to catch up with the next train if you move yourself up a position or so.
Yeah, I think. Oh, and there's Stubby. He's spun and
Safety car.
and he's out.
So, yeah, it looked like he was struggling for grip a little bit on those hard tyres. And he's lost it out of the S's, I'm guessing, there then.
Yeah, it looked like he just got on the power a bit too quick, and yeah, it didn't look like there was any contact, and the car just spun, and yeah, he went into the wall. Yeah, and he was really couldn't find the grip on them hards.
Well, it makes it. I mean, it also shows how well Skills Dan was doing there on the hards himself. It makes it interesting now for the soft runners. You'd imagine a medium and hards won't change their strategy, but will Morris go and get himself a free pit stop and change the strategy here? Because he's been struggling behind Aiden, hasn't he, for a few laps? Well,
yeah, he'd still have to come in for another pit, wouldn't he? So,
well, Oliver and Aiden have gone in. Surprised me. Smith's also gone in. Unsurprisingly, Skills Dan stays out, so the hard tyre working well for that strategy. Entity is in. Giraffe will have to stay out so they don't double stack. So we're going to see a big change here. Kieran, I like that little gamble, but I'm not sure if it's going to work being on the soft tyres, unfortunately. He stayed out, but I think he was right behind Booty on track, so I think he's had the same issue as Giraffe had. Well, that promotes Quinn. Nat's back up to where she... Well, I think she started 6th, did she? So she's back up to where she was before. Luke stayed out. And Bakker switching onto the leader's strategy. So maybe he can actually do something here this race. Following the leaders through now, he'll be closed up on the pack again. Find his rhythm. And obviously the top 6 still have to make a stop.
Yeah, I think the hard runners now would probably more than likely take them ties to the end. We know the top 6 now will have to pit, but I think I'd kind of hope for another safety car, or if they can pull a bit of a gap on the hard runners, yeah, and then hopefully get a fresher set of tyres if the hard runners are now going to take it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Skills Dan does. He's got people behind him that he'll be hoping if he can stretch his legs and get away, get a bit of a gap, that if he puts some soft tyres on at the end, he can make some serious inroads. I think I may have lost connection.
Oh.
You've got to love this game.
There we go. You're still on comms. I can hear you anyway.
I'm here, but let's see how we get back into that. I don't know if you can drop me a quick invite there, whilst everyone's looking at breaking point 2 on the menu here. Oh, you got to love EA.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if you... There we go. Oh, what's it doing that? For some reason it didn't. Right.
God, I'm glad that happened in a safety car, though. Tell you what. If you're watching, Stubby, thank you for causing the safety car because there was technical issues. Let's see if I can find an invite somewhere.
I'll tell you what. Why? I got everyone now shouting, "What a boomer!"
Yeah, unfortunately, it says request to join, and I don't want to interrupt the driver at the moment.
You should be able to. I don't know why.
Let me see.
I've got invite to game. I don't know why it's showing many different games. Not. Do you know what? I can't invite players because this group is already closed. Oh.
Yeah, sorry about this, Brian. I see you saying nice stream. It's not ideal. If not, we might have to switch, but I can't get back into the session at the moment. Are they still under safety car?
Yeah, they're still under safety car at the moment. Let's go there and I don't know if this will be on a different stream. Yeah, it's on a different stream, even though I'm now streaming. And they're off. So interesting to see that Kieran has stayed out on them